Welcome to the prison so dangerous, guards refuse to enter. Welcome to The Curious 10, where reality hits harder than fiction, and every story reveals the darker corners of our world. Today, we're stepping behind the bars, into the 10 deadliest prisons in the world. These aren't just facilities. They're nightmares in concrete, brutal guards, violent inmates, and inhumane conditions make survival a daily battle. Some prisons are so dangerous, even guards fear to enter. So steel your nerves, hit that subscribe button, and get ready. Because what you're about to hear is as real as it gets. 10. La Sabaneta Prison, Venezuela. Chaos. That's the only word that truly describes La Sabaneta, built for 700 prisoners, but once holding more than 3,700. Inmates ran the cell blocks. Gangs controlled food. Diseases spread like wildfire. One riot claimed over 100 lives. Burned, beaten, stabbed. Even guards admitted they feared entering certain sections of the prison. Experts call it a war zone disguised as a correctional facility. 9. Black Dolphin Prison, Russia. Deep in the Russian desert sits a fortress built for killers. Serial murderers, terrorists, cannibals. Inmates are blindfolded when moved, forced to walk bent forward so they can't memorize the layout. They're watched 24/7, check-ins every 15 minutes, and zero human contact. The deadly part? Almost every prisoner here is serving life without parole, meaning no one leaves alive. Psychologists say the mental torture alone can break even the strongest minds. 8. Gitarama Prison, Rwanda. Imagine a place so overcrowded that prisoners stand for days because there's no room to sit. That's Gitarama. A facility meant for 600 inmates once held over 7,000. The ground is covered in human waste, the stench unbearable. People died simply from standing too long, their bodies collapsing from infection. It's been called the closest thing to hell on earth. 7. Carandiru Penitentiary, Brazil. Carandiru became infamous after the 1992 massacre, when police stormed the prison during a riot and opened fire. 111 inmates were killed in one sweep. Witnesses described bodies stacked like wood. Doctors who worked inside said diseases, drugs, and murder were a daily routine. The prison was shut down, not because conditions improved, but because it became impossible to hide the horror anymore. 6. Tadmor Prison, Syria. Tadmor wasn't just a prison, it was a torture factory built in the desert, far from any witnesses. It became a symbol of fear under the Assad regime. Prisoners reported beatings, whippings, starvation, and executions. One night in 1980 still haunts history when soldiers entered at dawn and massacred hundreds of inmates in cold blood. Many Syrians say Tadmor was a place where people went to disappear. 5. Bang Kwang Prison, Thailand. Nicknamed the Bangkok Hilton, but trust me, this is no luxury stay. Prisoners wear leg shackles 24/7. Isolation cells reach over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Executions were once carried out using a machine gun instead of a firing squad. Most inmates are locked up for drugs. But the deadly part is the slow decay. Harsh labor, disease, and hopelessness that destroys the mind long before the body gives out. 4. Camp 22, North Korea. A place shrouded in secrecy, a political prison that doesn't officially exist. But defectors tell a chilling story. Forced labor, starvation, entire families sentenced for one person's crime. Survival rates? Almost non-existent. Prisoners mine coal, drag stones, carry logs until their bodies collapse. The scariest part? There are no releases. If you enter Camp 22, you die inside, Camp 22. 3. La Modelo Prison, Colombia. Here, the war between left-wing guerrillas and right-wing paramilitaries continues behind bars. Rival factions smuggle in guns, knives, grenades, yes, grenades, and wage battles inside the prison. Tunnels run beneath the facility like an underground battlefield. One raid uncovered hundreds of weapons and decapitated heads hidden in sewage pipes. La Modelo isn't a prison, it's an active war zone. 2. Diyarbakir Prison, Turkey. During the 1980s, Diyarbakir became infamous for its torture programs. Prisoners were beaten, electrocuted, stripped, and humiliated for the slightest resistance. Many died. Many more left with lifetimes of trauma. Reports describe conditions so inhumane that even guards suffered psychological breakdowns. Even today, its reputation remains a scar on the country's history, a reminder of how power can turn a prison into a living nightmare. 1. ADX Florence, USA. Welcome to the Alcatraz of the Rockies, the most secure, most controlled, and, many say, the most psychologically brutal prison in the world, home to terrorists, cartel lords, and America's most dangerous inmates. Prisoners spend 23 hours a day in soundproof concrete cells the size of a small bathroom. No physical contact, no sunlight except a sliver through the narrow sky window. Former inmates describe it as a clean version of hell. And the terrifying truth? Many say the isolation slowly destroys the human mind, making freedom feel scarier than confinement. Bonus: the island prison. You can't escape Bastøy, Norway. But wait. Here's the twist. Bastøy looks nothing like the rest of this list. No torture, no chaos, no guns. Instead, it focuses on rehabilitation. And guess what? It has one of the lowest reoffending rates in the world. A reminder that brutality doesn't always create safety, but humanity sometimes does. So what do these deadly prisons teach us? That fear doesn't just live in dark alleys or abandoned buildings. Sometimes it lives behind walls, built by governments, enforced by guards, and forgotten by society. The question isn't just, how do we punish criminals? It's, how far is too far? Because when cruelty becomes routine, justice disappears. If you want more deep dives into the world's darkest secrets, make sure to subscribe to The Curious 10. Stay curious, stay aware, and remember, some doors are closed for a reason.